Hey, yo, what's good, man? It's your host, Cleve. Welcome to the Third Coast Podcast with my man,
Joe. What it do, Gators?
What it do, man? It's your host, Cleve. Third Coast Podcast.
Joe, what it do, Gators? Joe, what it do, Gators?
With your host, Cleve, my host, Joe.
What it do, Gators?
What it do, and we have two guests on the show. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure, my name is Jen,
And I'm Annalise.
and we are a part of Dusky Waters.
Welcome to our beautiful town of Oakdale.
Thank you.
Y'all told us earlier that this was y'all's first fit, and thank y'all for traveling all this way to come to our small little town, and especially for being a part of the podcast. Thank y'all so much. Just to start out with.
Yeah, this is really awesome. For people who aren't here, if you can imagine a field filled with people and art and tents, and there's trees and a silhouette and a sunset and a blue sky, it's really quite amazing.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
Where are you guys from originally? Where are you guys coming from?
Sure. So we met in New Orleans, and that's where our whole band is based.
Okay.
But none of us are natives. So I'm actually from Little Rock, Arkansas. Originally, that's where I grew up. And I moved to Louisiana, 11 years ago to start teaching school. And I was teaching in a really small town in Concordia Parish, which isn't that far from here. So I had a lot of time to myself, and I just started writing songs.
I'm from New Jersey originally, but I've been in New Orleans for about 8 years, also to teach.
Which teaching degrees do y'all have?
0. That's just, at least for me.
Well, she's getting her master's in architecture also. I have a master's in education.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that's
Oh, yeah,
very
congratulations
impressive.
on that.
Yeah, thank
She
you.
was a vice principal, y'all.
Uh-oh.
In a former life, I was.
It was vice principal vibes.
So, with schooling and everything, how did you guys get together with the music and stuff?
Yeah, so like I said, I was teaching in a rural area, and I found out that I had a lot of time to myself. So I initially joined a band called Silo. We were a duet based out of Natchez and Tallulah. And we would tour the South and write songs. And then I, after that was kind of finished, I moved to New Orleans, and I started performing under the name Dusky Waters. And I spent a good amount of time as a solo artist. I used to loop pedal. I used to play floor tom on its side and a hi-hat with my heels, and then play the banjo with my hands, and do too many things at one time. And then Annalise and I both joined another band called Tiny Dinosaur, and that's how we met and started playing music together, because it turns out she's super talented and great to harmonize with.
Aww, cute. Aww.
Oh, I don't have that one on the sound pad, the all sound.
Just when you have us girls here, us girlfriends.
So, how many percussion instruments do you play?
That's a good question. I play the shakers, I play tambourine, I play a glockenspiel, which is, I think, a percussive instrument. I play... Ooh, we hear fireworks. That distracted me, sorry. My ADD is going to come out. It's up there. Every time I find a new fun thing, I play some shells. A frog. Really, whatever people just put in my hands, I'll just start playing it.
What is a frog?
Oh, my frog. It's I think it's traditionally from South America, or maybe Central America. It's a type of wood that they hollow out the shape of a frog, and on the top there are ridges. And you're given a mallet, and you hit the mallet in different parts of the frog, and it creates different, very percussive sounds. And if you run it along its back on the top, it creates a vibration kind of noise. It's really cool. And it sounds like the sounds of a frog would make at night.
I definitely got to check that out. I've never even heard of that.
Oh, yeah. Just Google frog, wood, percussion, and you got it.
All right. I'm definitely going to check that out.
It's the kind of instrument you can really bring to any party and to start, like, anybody can pick it up, anybody can play it. It's like a really good way to involve yourself in music if you are ever like worried about being musically inclined.
That's pretty awesome. Like all together, how many years? Like have you guys been playing music?
Well, I think both of us started playing music when we were kids. I know I started when I was 8 years old, maybe.
Yeah, it's been 31 years ago.
So a lot of time. But together, I think maybe the past 5 years, Annalise and I have been playing together, and then we sort of slowly added more folks to our band. So our band is now 5 people. We've got viola, upright bass, keyboard, organ, banjo, drums, and sometimes I play guitar, and sometimes banjo.
Yeah, it's funny because it started out, as Jen kind of finding her voice and getting her groove, and then slowly we started adding a little harmony to it, and then we were like, oh, it would be really cool with this, like a little bass to give a little back to it, and then we got the bass, and then we're like, it would be really cool on this, maybe like a little drum, just little drums in the back, and then we were like, oh, it would be really, really nice, some keyboards, and then that's like slowly how it's evolved over the years.
That's dope. I like how when y'all are performing on stage, how y'all give everybody their flowers, and especially with the bass line, because I play bass, not that good, but I seen with y'all's bass player, y'all
felt a lot of hospitality from it.
Yeah, he started. It got real quiet. He just started, boom, 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 and y'all went right into the song, and I'm like, oh, I like that, because y'all, sometimes the bass player get left on the back, the back burner, and y'all put that out there, in the keyboards and the drums and everything y'all do. It was a great set.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. That also today was a special day because the person who was playing bass with us today, Jen, do you want to tell a little bit about Andrew Roby?
Sure. Andrew Roby was the first bassist that Dusky Waters ever played with, and he had to move away, unfortunately, from New Orleans to Columbus, but he made it back in town for this special show, so he was able to sub on bass tonight, and it was really fun to play with him again.
Yeah, we have not played together in years, and today was like our first show in a while together.
Oh, you couldn't tell. Didn't miss a
I
beat.
know.
Right? He's so good.
Yeah.
He holds it down.
Very talented.
I mean, collectively as a group, like the sound that I've like gathered, like hearing you guys play, like I really like it overall. Again, like it has like a lot of compassion. You invited most of the people to the stage, and even then, like the performance was overall good. It's like y'all all, I would have never known, like had you not said that, I'd have never known that. I thought y'all maybe had been playing together for years, and it's a really good experience. And happy to have you guys out here for sure. Being that it's the first one. How long are you guys out for, or just for tonight, or y'all have other shows up and coming?
We do have other shows up and coming, so we're hanging out tonight, enjoying Fete, a little bit tomorrow as well. And then our next show is going to be October 8th in the City Park Botanical Gardens in New Orleans. And we are also playing Marini Fest, which is in New Orleans at Brew Carré on October 15th.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Keeping busy for sure.
Yeah, 2 of the people in our band that we play with, our keyboardist and our bassist, are huge Iceman Special fans. So they were really excited to come out, and they're really hunkering down tonight, and they're camping out, and they're here to win it. So yeah, half of us are like gonna have to head out, but like we're holding it down too. We got some representatives.
Oh, that's dope. So I got a question. Could you elaborate on how you learned to play the banjo? I want to hear the story, if that's okay.
Absolutely. It's an interesting story. I was in my senior year of college living in Missouri, and I was told about this free show that was happening at the St. Louis Art Museum, which is in the middle of Forest Park. It's this beautiful park. It spans like the middle of St. Louis. So I walked over to the show, and this band that was playing was an all-black string band from North Carolina called the Carolina Chocolate Drops. And I don't know if y'all know them, but Rhiannon Giddens. Uh-huh. Okay, so Rhiannon Giddens, who is like a phenomenal musician, was in the band at the time, along with Layla McCullough, who's plays in New Orleans, Dom Flemons, and they talked a lot about the Black history of the banjo and sort of like the banjo as this almost like lost piece of Black art. It's an originally African instrument. The first people to play it in the United States were Black people, but it kind of got lost because there was a time when Black artists really could only get record deals like playing the blues. So I heard that story and I was just really compelled by it. Also, I was like, this instrument looks really cool.
Really cool.
So I was just like, I feel very connected to this now and I really want to buy one. I'm also from Arkansas originally, which is, sort of banjo country, but I kind of had never really thought about picking one up until then. So I went out and bought a banjo the next week and I've been playing it ever since.
She makes it sound so easy, y'all, but like seriously, it is not an easy instrument to play.
I definitely can't play it, so it
I've picked one up in a Red River music store because like I play guitar, but like I play like standard guitar, and it's like I picked up a banjo. I didn't know that it was stringed differently than a normal guitar, so like that was one thing I found fascinating, just like the different styles of playing. But one thing I do like about the way you play is it sounds clear. Because most of the time, like there's a thing called too much clutter, if that makes any sense. But for the most part, like you harmonize really well with your voice and the way that you play the banjo.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we're thinking Jen's next tattoo might be a banjo design. We have these really great stickers that Jen had made from a local artist, a local Black female artist in New Orleans.
My name's Mecca.
Mecca. We love you, Mecca. And she did a really beautiful design of this banjo and a sunset to get the dusk feel. And we're like, Jen, this is calling to you. I think it's just like an extension of you. I think it would be great. I'm here for the tattoo.
Yeah, I got one of y'all's stickers on my mic box now, and
sweet.
on the gearbox too.
Oh yeah, check it out.
Yay. Yeah.
We love merch. We love stickers.
And I can tell you about the name Dusky Waters.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. Like, how did you guys come up with the name like Dusky Waters? Like, what's the story behind that?
Yeah, sure. I was living up in Northeast rural Louisiana, so I was teaching. And have you ever been to Natchez, Mississippi? Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. Natchez is where I was living, and then I was teaching on the other side of the river. So every day I would cross over the Mississippi to teach, cross back over to go home. And usually when I was coming home, if it was, like the end of the day, it would be dusk on the river. And if you've ever been to Natchez, Mississippi, the bluffs are just beautiful. Like, they're full of pine trees. You can see the sun setting over the water really nicely. And so those are the Dusky Waters. It was sort of like what inspired me to create the name.
It's beautiful how inspiration can come out of nowhere sometimes. Some of the mundane things you're doing day by day, and then it just creates inspiration. Being a songwriter and lyricist, do you find trouble sometimes, like coming up with like different ideas for songs so you don't sound repetitive, but sometimes you find something else that's just like a gem, Just could you take us through like some of your steps on like songwriting, maybe like where you find some of your inspiration for your music?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will say yes. I think that's every songwriter's challenge. At some point, you write something and you're like, did I already write this?
Or we'll be like, that sounds like that Weezer song.
Yeah. But I think that's also the beauty of music, is being able to recreate and riff on things. My songwriting process, I feel like there's some songwriters who have like really awesome habits and practices. And I'm sorry to say I'm not one of those. But I am someone who's like constantly kind of on the lookout for inspiration. And so when I see things or when I hear something or when I have a conversation that kind of like piques my interest, I just have like a notes app on my phone. So I'll write something down. And so a lot of my songs start as like one or two lines. I generally write lyrics first. So it usually starts with a couple of lines and like a feeling. And then from there, I'll like go to the piano or the guitar or the banjo and be like, okay, this is like the music that matches this feeling.
Do you guys ever get together and like do like improv sessions, or just like do you write all the music by yourself, or do you guys get together and try to match some things that you may have written?
Yeah, well, maybe Lee can tell you about a song that we co-wrote actually on our last album. It's in Spanish actually, and it's called Jaula de Algodón. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. Generally, when I first started playing with Jen, she had a really large repertoire of music already. So I kind of just listened to it and like kind of felt how I could help like input my influences into the music. So like through my viola or adding harmonies and things like that. But over the years, if we played together, like I really enjoy getting together with friends and playing music. That's like why I play music, right? Like the shows are a byproduct of that. But really, this is all just a way to hang out with my friends and have a good time. So I do have those moments where we get together and Jen will be like, oh, I'm working on I have a couple lyrics. I have like maybe some verse. Like, how about listening to it? And we used to be able to do that a lot more when we had more free time. We don't get to do it as much nowadays, but I had come to her also once with a song that I had wrote when I was in my very early 20s in college. And I had played on guitar and mostly just kind of had a really beautiful melody down, but I didn't really have any lyrics I could think of. Sometimes you like pour yourself out in like one kind of form, and then I couldn't hear it any other way. So I was like, hey, Jen, like I feel like you might like this. Like, let me know what you think about it. And it has like a kind of like a salsa-y, like flamenco-y kind of like Spanish kind of syncopation to it in my mind, at least. And so I was like, Jen, you speak Spanish. Like, maybe it'd be cool if like we had a song that we do in Spanish to, really highlight that part of the song. So yeah, it got put on the album and it sounds beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's a really good collaboration idea. It shows like a lot of the inspiration. Like, you have the main thing that you want people to hear, but it also shows other influences as a gathered whole. And I was curious about that, but it answered my question thoroughly, though. Thank you, by the way.
I try. Can you tell the teachers come out?
So y'all both speak fluent Spanish?
Oh, no, I do not.
Oh.
Jen does.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I only know broken Spanish, all the inappropriate things.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. Jen might know those too, but she's never told me.
The labor force. You learn a lot from
Yeah.
a lot of different cultures, and the Hispanic culture taught me how to not carry a good conversation with most people, but for its purposes, it's used sometimes. But I'm lost for words. Make sure y'all check out Third Coast Podcast on all major streaming platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And we are at Pet the Boy 2023, and y'all don't know, it's one of the greatest experiences in our hometown.
Yeah.
Where can we find, if our listeners are out there right now and they're like, where can we find Dusky Waters at? Where could they find y'all at?
Absolutely. You can find us on all major streaming platforms. So just search Dusky Waters, dusk like the time of day, waters like the Mississippi. And you also can check out our website, duskywaters.com, our Instagram at Dusky Waters, and all those other fun social things. We're on there.
Yeah, and we have some music on Spotify. So if you like want to put some nice chill tunes on, or you want to go dancing, we accommodate all sorts of occasions: children's parties, bat mitzvahs, sweet 16s. Just play it all, any occasion. We have 2 on Spotify, and I think we also have. Do we have it on iMusic?
It's on all major platforms.
There you go. See? Oh, sorry, I'm like repeating myself now.
Oh, no, it's fine. Do y'all handle y'all's social medias and y'all's website yourself?
Yes.
It's fun, ain't it?
It is fun. DIY.
Yeah, it's definitely even like from doing merch to doing the website to posting on Facebook.
Oh, it's a whole other job.
Yeah, it's definitely. I can feel the pain. That's why when we do interviews with artists or who MMA fighters or whoever, I always ask that who does your socials, who does your website, and 9 out of 10 it's like, oh, we do it because it's always like a side task because you produce your art. Then you're like, and now I gotta tell 1,000 people 100 different posts about my art.
Uh-huh.
Yep, always fun.
So high value is appreciated and all the hard work that like in the music and outside of the music.
No, props to Jen. She manages the HE double hockey sticks out of Dusky.
Is there anything y'all would like to elaborate about yourself, maybe besides the music and besides teaching you would like to tell the listeners, or just maybe a fun, cool story that you have?
Oh my gosh, we have so many fun, cool stories. Well, actually, just recently, so we play with our keyboardist. His name is Tommy. He has family who have a winery. It's outside of New Orleans on
Wild Bush.
Wild Bush Winery. It's a really beautiful spot, and they have music there. So we got to play, and very recently, but the first time we went there was during love bug season. And we were inundated with love bugs, but we felt very at home as well, because there was another time when Jen had played. Jen, you had to tell this story.
Well, the thing about playing outside gigs in Louisiana is you just have to make friends with the critters that are there too. So we played through a love bug swarm, literally love bugs swirling around us, which was honestly kind of nice. They were grooving with us. They kind of danced through the sky. But also one time I had an outdoor gig in May in New Orleans around dusk. And I don't know if y'all know what that means, but for all those New Orleanians out there, we know that it's termite season. And so the termites swarm. And they just descended on me. They descended on the whole venue, but I was playing guitar, and I was just like, I am not going to stop this song. I am going to keep playing this song through this swarm. And it took everything within me. And then as soon as the song ended, I, did that wiggle thing you do when you're like, oh, there's something on me, get it off. Had to get them out of my hair. It was gross. Yeah, those are our gross bug stories. Do we have any?
Sorry, I actually
nice
really
stories?
like bugs.
I've never heard about all these people I know that are from New Orleans. I've never heard about the termites.
Oh my gosh, it's a thing. It's you got to be careful.
Yeah, you should ask someone. But I guess the only other thing I would share is a little bit about our new album. It came out in June, and we had some time to go on tour. Yeah, we did a tour through Texas to celebrate it. But it really was, it's been the culmination of a lot of thought and time and effort on everyone's part.
What's the album called?
The album is called Pass It On, which is also the title track. And if y'all were at our show, you were at our show earlier. So the track we opened up with is Pass It On, which is sort of me paying homage to my family and our roots in Arkansas. And yeah, we're real excited about it. I think it sounds great. So I hope that people can go listen to it. We recorded it in New Orleans at Platinum Cuts Annunciation Studios with Derek W. Produced it and was a sound
It's cool.
engineer.
We got some local artists too to join in to do some horns and to do some violin work, and had some instrumentals. But on one of the songs, the addition of the horns immediately gave it this amazing New Orleans vibe to it. So it's a fun mix of genres a little bit too. You have that bluegrass and the folk, but then a little New Orleans comes popping through.
Yeah. So I call our music New Americana. I feel like it's just kind of a nice umbrella term for roots music, or music that's kind of deeply rooted in the South, as a Southern girl. So and it features, I want to make sure to shout out the rest of our band. So Tommy Henson, who plays piano and organ, Connor McCready, who also produced the album, and plays percussion and a little slide guitar on there. Annalise Dessaw on viola, vocals, percussion. Dylan James on upright bass. And then we had some friends sit in on the album with us as well.
That's dope. I can't wait to actually go and listen to y'all's whole album. I'm definitely going to jam that this afternoon.
Yeah.
And all the listeners in the Third Coast podcast community, make sure y'all go listen on all major streaming platforms.
Yes, please do, and let us know what you think and buy the album.
But we ain't going to hold y'all up. I know it's hot. Maybe in the future we can get some AC going and have a longer sit down with y'all, so y'all ain't out here in the heat.
Oh, we're used to it, Ian. This is, you can just embrace the heat at this point. It's just cooling down, this time of year. But no, it's not so bad.
But thank y'all for being on, and make sure y'all check out Dusky Waters on all major streaming platforms, and it's www.duskywaters.com.
Yep, and you can even skip the 3 W's and just put duskywaters.com. It'll take you there.
And YouTube too, right? Yeah, YouTube.
Yep, all the things, all the socials, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, at Dusky Waters, dusk like the time of day.
Yeah, we have a music video that's actually out on YouTube, so you can catch that too.
Alrighty. Thank y'all for joining us, and we are out.